Support LaneSide. Get something cool. All right, guys, you asked, we deliver. The return of old guy Wayne.
Yeah, and he's bowling on the high friction house shot.
Now we've got scoops here as well. You guys asked us to do this, and we were really hoping. Oh wow, that went long.
Yeah,
we were really looking forward to doing this. Now that Wayne is over his injuries and Scoops is back, we got you guys throwing this. This is the spiritual successor to the GB line.
Yes.
So, it's got the enhanced V2 core. It's got the GB 12.5 cover stock, but now they've added HK22.
Yeah.
So, we've talked about this stuff before. Want to look at performance here.
Yeah.
This is a 2.480 048 ball. So this would be into our late hook kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think we already saw.
No, so you got that one out more into the friction. And it, came up and just kind of settled in there. That was a good shot.
So this ball is designed to go long until you see defined friction and then move.
Yeah.
Which was the difference between those two shots, as you were saying.
Yeah, you can see it.
And, I guess they figured it out a long time ago. You don't have to fix this core. Just keep updating the cover stock.
Well, exactly. Change it to something more modern and everything. Like it's got the HK, so it's going to float to the front. And they're going to add a little bit better pearl or something else that they found. Right?
Well, speaking of that, that's kind of interesting because when they did the GB4 line, you can see he's back out on that
further
friction.
right out. Look how nice it just settles in, right? Yeah.
When they did the GB4s, they had the really, really furry GB4 solid.
Yeah.
And then the pearl was still strong.
Yeah.
And then their hybrid was actually kind of like long and angular.
Yeah.
This one, the GB5, was real strong.
Yes.
And this is like a real pearl.
Yeah.
They haven't kind of gone weird on it.
Yeah. It's definitely like a true pearl. You can see it float even with the HK22 too. It floats down, and then, like you said, friction, it sees, it starts spinning up with that core, and then boom, right?
Because for your speed dominant players, you won't often see them throw a symmetrical ball. We say that all the time.
Yeah.
But look.
Whoa. A little slow on that one. Got a little bit in. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
He knew he got to the friction a little early. This is something that for those speed-dominant players or for senior players who need the ball to see friction and turn.
Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's what we're seeing. It floats, sees friction, kicks.
Yeah. And even that, he still got 9 out of it.
Yep.
Right? So, the core is so big, and then it's got dynamic core in it as well.
Look at the size of that core. I think it's huge.
Yeah. It's like one of the bigger cores that I've seen for sure.
So we've just kept moving him. We want him to be able to play up that friction. We want him to get as close to that friction as possible.
Ooh. What happened? What happened?
He's like a half board, a board move to carry there. That's something that we always say is unusual for our speed dominant players. We don't like seeing them in symmetrical stuff.
Yeah.
But for later on, when they start to break down and they start to hook.
Yes, exactly.
This is money.
Yeah. Because he'll be able to open it up with something a little bit stronger.
Yep.
And then asymmetric stronger. And then when that asymmetric starts kind of rolling out, you switch into this. You float through the heads.
Absolutely.
Bam.
So we got one more. We're going to move him over just a little bit farther here. Now that he sees that he's got some recovery.
Yeah.
We might even get a smile out of him. I don't know. Those are rare sometimes.
Very rare.
He might have cut it off with his upper lip there. Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at the look on his. I told you. Look on his face. He was able to get around it a little bit more because for you senior players who like to, not that only senior players like to trick the ball, but most of our senior players are much more adept at tricking the ball.
Because that's what they had to do to make it hook in the past, right? They really had to shake that hand or the doorknob, turn the doorknob or whatever, really
spin the football.
Yeah.
So that really gave him some room. He could open up on that. That is crazy. All right, one more move here. We're gonna get a little bit. Like I said, because it's only you guys. I already threw this. I already know how much this ball hooks.
Yeah.
We could spend a little bit more time, and we could spend, get a little deeper, change the angles a little bit.
Yeah.
This time, I asked him when we were throwing this, I said, move your break point down a little bit farther down lane.
Yeah.
And see how we can open this up here. And look at that.
Wow, that was nice.
It was a different motion almost.
Yeah. It went down and did almost like an asymmetric thing to it. Yeah.
All right, so here he is left-handed. And you can see how it really, this is really how you can see it come off the spot here. So watch, you can see he tricked it a little bit.
Wow.
And watch it come up. That's really good. Mm-hmm. That means with a defined friction point, he can take advantage of spinning it, getting a little bit more distance, and way more entry angle.
Exactly.
Which is always a problem for Wayne.
Yeah.
Because you can see here with the bonus, that thing didn't move much.
No, exactly. It just went down like it's supposed to and just hooked in there.
It might have actually gone slower than he did. We should have a race sometime. See which moves faster, him or the ball. But look, almost like the identical motion, just difference in distance.
Yeah. And more hitting power.
Yeah, well, when you open up the pocket, when you create more entry angle, bada boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
You can see the difference when it exits the deck. It'd probably be better on the low angles, but keep an eye here. Just watch where it gets into the pocket.
You can watch. It's just a little bit farther out. It goes down way farther.
Yeah.
And then sets up the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, for you senior players, for you speed dominant players, when you need something, when they finally get some friction.
Yeah.
Because, speed dominant players should use tons and tons of surface when they're coming onto a fresh lane. They want to create as much friction as they can. But you still want to bounce off it.
Well, yeah.
You are a master at this. You are really good because you are used to playing with urethane.
Yeah.
You create a friction trench.
Yeah.
And then throw to it, just bounce.
Just bounce, yeah.
So speaking of Mr. Urethane here. Oh, sorry, one more shot.
One more. Yep.
He takes so long.
This is the slow one, so it's going to take even longer. You can watch. You can definitely see that.
Look how it's about 4 feet difference for it to set up, but they go in the exact same path.
Yeah.
That's what you want out of a late hook ball. You want something that you can go to when your benchmark is getting too early.
Yeah.
But you want to stay in the same area.
Exactly.
Now here you are.
Yeah.
And I think you were a little more surprised with this.
Well, yeah. You can see this one come off.
There was a little more hook there.
Yeah. I was like, what? That would have carried any other ones.
When I got Nick down to the lanes here, because we shot these all separately.
Yeah.
Was kind of cool because nobody could watch anybody else and know what the reactions were.
Yeah.
So I just came down and I was like, you're going to like this ball, but it's going to be a little strong.
Yeah. And you can definitely see when it gets down there, as soon as it sees the friction, right?
Yep.
You can see it on this one.
So we made a 4-2 move right away.
You can see
to get you on top of that friction.
Yeah. And see, oh, wow.
That
so
9-pin went straight back.
Yeah. You can see just getting it out a little bit and taking advantage of it.
Yep.
Right?
And that's what this style of ball is for.
Yeah.
Just that little bit extra length, open the lane up, a little bit more entry angle. They say 4 to 6 degrees, isn't it? Is the optimum angle?
Oh, exactly.
Look what you can do here.
Yeah, so you got that one wider. It just came up a little bit higher, but that messenger.
A little wider, and you get the is that the atomic messenger?
Yeah, it was all air. Go back and watch that one again. There was no deck.
Yeah, that
came off the wall and just tomahawk right through the middle.
That was almost messenger boy worthy.
Yeah.
Like somebody throwing it from the back.
Yeah.
Holy crap. All right, so we're going to keep moving you because...
Well, why not?
You see a 9-pin like that, you know the ball's super continuous.
Yeah.
Let's keep you moving.
Got that one a little bit deeper at the mark.
Oh! One board move.
One board. Yeah. I made it come around it a little too. So sometimes that happens when I get excited. I put a little too much.
Sometimes, and that just shoots it an extra, 6 inches foot down lane.
Yeah.
This is for all of you bowlers out there who are trying to get better. This is one of the things that you can work on. Is rather than trying to play a million different hand positions, get really good at coming up the back of the ball.
Yeah.
The kind of the middle and the side. 3 hand positions. If you can do 3 hand positions, you're killing it.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the easiest ways is just where you have your fingers, right?
Yeah.
Like if you put in your index finger and spread out your pinky finger, that's going to cause you to stay a little bit more behind it. And if you move your pinky in and put the other one out, you're just going to get a little bit of side. That's like the medium. Then you can turn your hand a little bit more to get a little bit more on it, right?
It's funny that how things change the more they stay the same. We're talking about hand positions that everyone who bowled in the 80s are like, yeah, no, duh.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, most of the time, look at that. That's in the oil.
Yeah, that was all oil that time.
Most of the time, we don't teach this anymore. We teach to make a ball change.
Yeah.
Rather than just a little hand position change.
And if you get a ball that you feel real comfortable with, I've had a couple of them that I really know what it's going to do, and you could see it reaction. I've done that lots of times and made it through a 3-game set easy.
Yeah, because sometimes it's literally just, all right, I've got my pinky curled because I want to rev up on it a little bit. You know what? It's finishing too much. I'm going to pull my pinky out of it.
Yeah.
Look at this. Out again.
Maybe a little too much.
You got to get around that one. You got to create.
Now I have to.
Now you got to create because at that point that was 10 boards left.
Yeah, and I mean I could have, if we could have stayed there all day. I could just start putting a little bit more hand on the side of it, and then start carrying that out.
So here you are throwing it left-handed with the Atomic Messenger.
I had to put that one in.
Of course.
Right? Yeah.
But when we did these, that was the reaction that seemed to be the best. That was the one that got through the pocket the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll see here, putting up against our bonus. And as we always say, we use a bonus because every company's got something similar that you can put it up against.
Yeah, and everybody that says we always strike with the bonus, sometimes it takes a couple of shots to strike.
you know, your benchmark ball isn't necessarily, and look at this, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the ball you're always throwing. It's the one that tells you what to throw.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you can look, compare these two shots here. Watch, you're inside of the bonus.
Yeah.
But watch how it goes through the pins.
Yeah. When you're getting about 40 feet, you can't see it you can't see much of a difference.
Yep. So your feet are on top of each other.
Yeah.
Look at that. Just distance, but the GB5 out continued it.
Yeah.
So where your bonus, where your benchmark may have been leaving you 10 pins.
Yeah, this one's going to...
Suddenly you're carrying.
Yeah.
It's all about opening up the pocket. Because look, this is a good shot. It hits the pocket, but it deflects a little bit. It's over the 9.
Yeah.
Compare it to the GB5.
Yeah, and nobody wants to go too much over the 9 and leave 8 pins all day.
That's, somewhere Randy is like curled up in a ball. Just look at it. Same path.
Yeah, and I wasn't leaving 8 pin with that one.
Yeah. No doubt. So if you're looking for something to match up with your benchmark ball, if you're expanding your arsenal, you need something that, maybe after game 1 or 2 that you can go to that's going to allow you to stay in the same area but open it up. The Game Breaker 5 Pearl, I think,
is really good. It's
like, I really liked it, but it just seems to take the level of the Game Breaker 4, the hybrid, just take it to a new level. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you LaneSide.